We're going to move on from that now, ladies and gentlemen, OK, and something, well, even more serious, massively more serious than the Tory leadership election. The death toll from a Russian missile strike in the central Ukrainian town of Vinnytsia earlier today has reportedly increased to about 20, potentially even 30, actually, including 2 children. Well, in the studio now with me to discuss this incident and indeed the rest of the latest in the war in Ukraine is Oleksiy Goncharenko, a member of the Ukrainian Parliament, Vice President of the PACE Committee on Migration, Refugees and Displaced Persons. And I'm pleased to be able to say as well, I would hope, a friend really, because I've interviewed you numerous times. OK, let's deal with the very latest. A lot of people now, Ukraine seems to have gone a bit quiet in Western media, unfortunately, because it's been going on and that's something that happens. Does that really disappoint you?
It is disappointing. It's quite natural, but it is disappointing. Just imagine this morning, 10:45, it was Ukrainian time, very busy streets in ordinary city, 300,000 population, all just hit by Russian missiles. And more than 30 people are killed, including at least 3 children. One 4-year-old girl is just turned in the parts. And that's happening in the middle of Europe now. I mean, politics, economy, that is important. But that is what you are now showing to people. It's people burned down alive in these cars. Yeah. These cars, that was a parking, and they just burned down alive. You see this for this plane, it was shown now. That is the only military object on this place, kilometers around. I mean, no military objects, no military bases, nothing, just civilians. And now more than 30 of them are killed, more than 100 are wounded. I don't know what will be the last number. That is, I understand that people are getting used to things like this. But I think it's not right to be used to this.
Well,
because if we will be used to this in Ukraine, tomorrow it will be in Poland, and the day after tomorrow it will be here. That's what I feel. That's what I want to tell you.
It's a real shame, isn't it, that if you just keep seeing things over and over again, you do naturally get used to it. But it doesn't make it right, as you've just said there right now.
On my Twitter, there is a video of a lady with a child. It was recorded 9:38. They did it on the phone, like we all do. In 1 hour, they were killed. This lady, mother, and her baby 4 years old.
Yeah, it's hard to find the words, Oleksiy. It's hard to find the words. How is the resolve of the Ukrainian people? Because is there an element that just go, look, let's just get this over with, let Putin have what he wants? Or are they standing strong?
We are standing strong because we know what he wants. He wants to destroy us. That is existential, to be or not to be.
So you think if he took Ukraine, you think he'd just exterminate Ukrainians?
Yeah, he will do it, but he will do it in the way that he will send Ukrainians to kill Polish people, Lithuanians, Latvian, Estonians. He will kill Ukrainians, then take them. The idea is then to take them and to go to Germany. Just 33 years ago, Germany was divided. Which I just want to remind you. It's not a long, long ago history. It's not a medieval story. It's 33 years ago. And if we will not react, that will mean that everything will continue and repeat.
We had lunch together a few weeks ago now, and you said something really interesting to me when we were at dinner, actually. It's really interesting, this, about Zelensky. Now, Zelensky's become a bit of a rock star, whatever.
Yeah.
And he put a lot of emphasis on building infrastructure. And didn't you say to him that the Russians will use that infrastructure to try to invade our country? We're better trying to build our defences.
That's what I told from a tribune of the parliament, and he didn't like it. I was critical, and I said that now, if we will not think about army, the roads that we are building now, they will be used by Russian tanks. Unfortunately, that's what happened. That is a very good lesson for everybody, everywhere. Security matters. Everything starts from security. All this economic growth that West had for decades, it is based on security. If there would not be the result of Second World War and international order and international law respected, no economic growth, absolutely nothing.
No.
That is the lesson we all should learn.
And it annoys me, right, that if Putin did something similar in this country, we'd have to get on the phone to America. We have to go. We've neglected our own armed forces in this country, and I think what Ukraine has shown is. I
had a breakfast. I had a meeting with one of top generals of Germany. It was private, so I can't say the name. And I said that give us more weaponry, please, because they gave us 7 howitzers. We are happy with 7. It's better than 0. But we have 1,000 kilometers front line. I said it to him. I said, "You're military, you understand?" He said, "I understand. But do you know how many do we have?" And he said, "We have he said number, but I can tell you, it's
not a lot.
It's less than 50. And I said, okay, what would be if Russians would come here? So that is what happened.
Can I ask you a bit about Boris? We've lost Boris in this country. How do you feel about it?
I should say the truth. I am very sad about it. I understand it's absolutely internal UK question. But in Ukraine, Boris is a real hero. We really appreciate what he did. And he showed leadership. That is so important. In this world where we lack the leadership, he showed it. And I understand, I hope that whoever will be Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, because United Kingdom society supports Ukraine, the politicians will do the same. But will they be so passionate? Will they show leadership? I don't know. I hope yes, but big thanks to Boris. Last time I met him in Madrid on the fields of NATO summit and spoke with him, and he did a very good job internationally. And that I can tell you for sure. And he did a good job for the UK too.
That's really interesting because that's what the line... Well, look, Boris Johnson won a massive majority in this country. It's a public vote, OK? And I get that the guy's got an interesting private life, OK? Fine, that's right. But it was MPs who moved him on, right? So it wasn't the public who sacked Boris Johnson. It was MPs. Now, I feel a bit squiffy about that. Personally, I don't think that's particularly right. I think if there was a general election tomorrow and Boris Johnson was standing in it, I think he'd win, right? So I don't feel that comfortable that he's gone. Are you now concerned that Ukraine might, and therefore Russia might become more powerful? Ukraine could be more at risk by virtue of Boris Johnson no longer being Prime Minister?
What I can tell you that there was a big party in Kremlin when Boris Johnson resigned.
Really?
Say
that again. Talk to me about that, mate.
It was in all Russian propaganda all the time. It was said by Russian press secretary of everybody except Putin himself. But they were so happy, like it was, I don't know, like a candy given to all of them. And it shows something. It shows that they were scared of Boris Johnson. It shows that they were scared of the leadership he showed. That's the fact. Again, I'm not coming to internal things. I'm just saying what I see, and I saw the reaction, and that's truth.
Oh, and that tells you everything. So there was a party in the Kremlin when Boris Johnson...
a big party, probably the biggest during the last time, because all time they had losses and lost everything. They lost their flagmanship, they lost more than 30,000 people, they lost all reputation they could have. They're committing genocide, and now finally they see that their tactics of putting chaos to the free world, why they're doing this in Black Sea. They want a rise of prices in the world. They want British people to come to pub and see that fish and chips is much more expensive because it was made on Ukrainian sunflower oil. Then beer is much more expensive because it was made from Ukrainian barley and things like this. And they want to see starving millions of people in North Africa and Middle East to have a few huge new waves of refugees coming to Europe and having a social unrest in all countries. They want chaos. And more chaos, better for them. That's what is their strategy. And that's why they're waiting for winter. They're hoping that people in the world will say, wow, so high prices for energy, for food. This government is doing a bad job. Let's Putin make whatever he wants. That's what he is waiting for. And that will be the worst scenario, because that will mean that we will have all the worst. I mean, that will be a big war, that we will have no energy, no food, and that will be a disaster.
Oleksiy, one day you'll be the leader of Ukraine.
Thank you very much. I have
go on.
I have a small present to you.
Oh, yes. Okay.
You asked me about the war and about people don't forget.
Yeah.
That is something that I will just open it for you.
Oh, this is
that is a small bracelet made of
thank you very much.
yes, made of parts of bullets which were fired when Ukraine was defending our capital. So that is for you.
Hold this up now. So Oleksiy, sorry, just talk me through this again. So this is a bracelet made.
That is a bullet.
Russian bullets.
It is bullets, Ukrainian bullets, with which we were defending our capital, and we did it. We kicked off Russians from our capital. That is something you have as a reminder that war is in the.
Well, I'm very, very grateful for this. I will figure out how to exactly put this on my wrist when we're in the advert break because it's a bit tight at the minute. But I tell you what, I will. I'll tell you what, I'll wear this every day. OK? So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, you take care. And I'll tell you what, one day you will be the leader of Ukraine. Absolutely, 100%. Oleksiy Goncharenko there, ladies and gentlemen, a friend of the show, friend of the channel, and I think a friend of mine as well. Thank you very much for coming on and discussing the very latest about Ukraine. Look, ladies and gents, it's a problem that's not going away. And I think what Vladimir Putin wants is for it to go away, to not be spoken about in the media, OK? And people like Oleksiy are not going to let that happen. We're certainly not going to let this happen. And like I said in the advert break, when I figure out how I'm going to get this around my fat wrist, I will keep it on until people like Oleksiy send Putin packing. But there we go.